To those that did not know what was going on all about Toby Keith. Toby Keith was a true legendary and a lover of his country, America. He was a true patriot, and there is no doubt that his legacy shall forever live on. He died recently on the 5th of February 2024. It was nearly 2 years ever since he announced his diagnosis.
You know, how come I looked at the footsteps of my life, and you always walk it with me until the darkest ones, and then there's only one set of footprints, and he says, well, that's when I was carrying you. Mm-hmm. It's that. You take it for granted on days that things are good, and you lean on it when days are bad, and it's taught me to lean on it a little more every day.
Have you experienced a peace that passes all understanding?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I finally got to a point in the spring. I was diagnosed in October of 21, and I was going through all the chemo, and the first time I'd been through chemo, radiation, surgery, and I just got to a point where I was comfortable with whatever happened. I had my brain wrapped around it, and I was in a good spot either way. So people without faith don't have that. Mm-hmm. It'd be hard. When you think it's just going to be flipping the light switch off, you know, but it's carried me a long way.
What do you say to someone who might be watching this about your faith? Because sometimes it's hard for people to share their faith, that you rely, I mean, you know, you're one of the most powerful people in country music, and I mean, just look around, and I mean, all the success and everything, and then, you know, I'm hearing you say that you've had to relinquish and surrender. How do you explain that to someone?
Well, I've always prayed. Mm-hmm. I've always believed in a creator, you know. I was rolling down the road one time with one of my musicians from the old broadband days, and we were driving that old van and trailer all over Southwest part of the United States. And me and him were going to a wreck. I was driving. He was sitting up front, and all I cared about was I was hungry. I wanted to be a songwriter, and I was really fighting, you know, to get to my position and where I was going to end up. Had no idea I'd end up here, but at the time I dreamed it. And we went on the road. He started talking. He was agnostic, and I said, "So you don't believe in a creator at all? Like we're just like amoebas that swam up on the bank and grew up, and then when we die, they just stick us back in the ground." He goes, "Why are you not believing in God?" And he said, well, "He's never presented himself to me. I've never seen him." I said, "Really?" And I remember hearing him talk previous about he believed in UFOs. I go, "But you believe in UFOs?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "You ever seen one?" He goes, "No." I go, "Touche, buddy."
Yeah, look around.
I can believe that there was a creator that created all this. Energy from the ground. We have electricity in the ground. We have an ozone. We have an earth that's full of energy that, you know, lightning strikes the ground somewhere in the world every second of our life, and it energizes this, and the ozone, I guess, holds it in, and we have air. You don't have air in space, but something's holding that air. Is this all just a natural occurrence, or is this things talking to each other, keeping us? I mean, the thing spins for our gravity, holds us on this big blue and green model. It's just too many things. And the power of prayer, when your prayers get answered and you see the power of prayer, you know there's a creator, and it lives in your heart. It's not something that somebody cult you into thinking, you know. Charlie Daniels said, "God save us all from religion." So there is a lot of stuff going on in the world due to religion that creates a dark side, but there is one Almighty, you know, and if you can live through Him, you can feel the light. Mm-hmm.
It's about a relationship, isn't it?
It is. It's our relationship.
You said about having a prayer answered. Has there been a time that you've had a specific prayer answered that you could share?
Oh, absolutely. The biggest one. And I can't say it's the biggest life or death one, but when I was beating those bars up, I was literally making $250, $230 a week. We would get like 3,000 and play 5 nights somewhere. I dragged that trailer to Las Cruces, New Mexico. You know, we'd have a flat, have to spend $10 on an old tire and his. And then after 5 or 6 years of beating that road up, I was getting in my late 20s. And every night I always prayed. And I didn't ask for anything, I always counted my blessings. And I said, if there's one thing, just guide me where I'm supposed to go, because if this is what I'm supposed to be doing, please let me know. And even got to the point where I was like, if I get to 30, and I haven't done this, I'm going to switch occupations. You know, because I can't do this. I had 2 kids at the time, I got 3 now, but at the time I had 2 children. It was like, I can't keep coming home and bringing $250 and taking 30 and sticking it in my pocket and eating off that all week the rest of my life. But I was young enough that I could do it. Well, ironically, I'd gone to Nashville, been turned down. Yeah, you can sing. Yeah, you need to go back to the woodshed and work on your songs. So I did a 6-song cassette, and it had 6 songs I'd written on it. And I got a deal through the manager of the club I worked when I worked Oklahoma City. Every 8 weeks I worked a club in Oklahoma City. And his nephew played for Straight. And he'd written some songs, David Anthony. And David Straight had played here, and David had come in the bar every time. And a couple times that Straight had played Oklahoma City, we'd been in, and the band would come out and hang out with Uncle Freddie. And he said, hey, I'll take him Jimmy Bowen and let Jimmy Bowen hear these songs and hear him sing. So they set up a meeting with Capitol Records. I went in. I didn't meet with Jimmy Bowen. I met with a flunky. And the guy fast forwarded through my songs and said, we've got male singers, we don't need a band, and we do need a songwriter, but your songs. And I was like, cool. I went him upstairs. I was like, hey, I got my shot. Came to Nashville, kid in Oklahoma, got my shot. I went home. So now I'm 29. And the summer, I turned 30 on July 8th. My parents' wedding anniversary is June 21st.
Okay.
And while I was in town, I'd run into some friends, and they said, hey, they used to see me out on the road, and now they're working in Nashville. And they came out and had dinner with us, and they got a hold of they wanted to have some music. So I gave them the cassette tape, and one of them gave it to Harold Shedd, who discovered Alabama, KT Island. He was vice president of Mercury Records. And he heard it, and he goes, who is this guy? And they said, that's Toby, who lives in Oklahoma. He wrote these songs out. He goes, I'm going to go sing.
Toby Keith's death isn't only a huge loss to the entertainment industry, but a loss to the entire United States, as he was a true supporter of democracy and freedom. He loved his country, he sang for his people, and a lot of people danced to his music. We grew up dancing to his music, and we shall forever remember him. Let us know which songs you loved the most when it comes to Toby Keith. Continue praying for his family and loved ones. Remember, he wasn't only a singer, but he was a husband and a father to his 2 daughters and a son. He left behind his wife and his mother. Our thoughts goes out to Toby Keith's family and loved ones, and may his soul rest in eternity. Don't forget to subscribe to Touch News Media for your latest news updates and celebrity gossip.